So let me explain something counterintuitive about AI and bad data. In the old world, pre-AI Salesforce, your user were the error correction layer. They had tribal knowledge. They knew that any company with, let's say, Acme Corp or Acme Corp with the different spelling, they were the same account. They work around the mess. And human, basically, they are amazing at compensating for the garbage data. So now when Agentforce 360 came, it does not have that tribal knowledge. It reads data as a source of truth. And here is where it gets scary. Agentforce 360 isn't just a chatbot reading your data. It runs on Atlas reasoning engine, a multimodal reasoning engine that can route tasks around multiple AI models, including Salesforce own model and Google's Gemini through the expanded partnership. It reasons dynamically using pattern signals and unified data. Yeah, and it does not read a field, it actually infers meaning from it. So when your data is wrong, the Atlas reasoning engine does not just return a wrong answer. It actually reasons confidently from the wrong premises and build an entire chain of logic on top of garbage. That's exponentially worse than the simple lookout errors. So when we say actually why AI makes bad data worse, so let me explain you in a simple scenario. Where is So scenario one, let's say you have a multi-personality account. So 5 accounts recording the same company with different spelling. Now, when agent is somebody is contacting agent and agent is trying to pull the account, so they get actually 5 different accounts with the same customer information. And you cannot control which customer information it will pull. And the problem is it is worse that at least reasoning engine may aggregate them into different customer and provide contradictory recommendation in the same conversation. So there is a possibility that it will contact the incorrect account. Scenario two is the ghost contact. So you might have seen in your own database the contact record with an email address from 2019, and the person is no longer using it. Now, try to think of it that agent is attempting to outreach some action, email, trying to send an email, and then what is happening that it bounces back. So action is failed mid conversation. Then agent then tries to a fallback action based on the stale phone data, and customer never gets contacted. And then whether you are signing a deal, it dies in immediately, silently, without any information. Then the third thing is meaningless descriptions. So you might have seen even your own Salesforce org that your description fields has meaningless information. And if you are mapping that information description field with something your agent is going to take action, it will cause a problem. So, for example, your product description fields populated with an SQU instead of human readable description. So, agent cannot explain what your product does to a person who is asking about it. Let's say you have a store which is linked with your with your Salesforce org, and some customer is coming and he is inquiring about product. So imagine one product had missing information, and now agent is unable to explain, and it may hallucinate because it may try to provide any inaccurate information based on the product name. Then there is another scenario, compliance nightmare, a field called, let's say, emergency contact, which contains a personal identifiable information, names, phone number, relationship, and it was never classified. So now Einstein trust layer does not know it is restricted. And Agentforce agent surface that data into customer facing portal responses. And by the way, if your agent is doing such kind of thing, that it may violate the GDPR. So these are not just theoretical edge cases. Every legacy orgs may have some of these issues. So poor data quality actually, if you see based on the stats, poor data quality actually blocks 53% of agentic AI adoption. So if your data is poor, it means there are 50% chances your Agentforce initiatives might not work. And that's actually a scary thing, that more than half of the AI initiatives fail because of before even they start, not because of the AI is bad because the data is bad. So let's talk about 6 data quality dimensions, which we really need to think about it before even we start building anything for the agents. So the traditional data quality dimension, there were around 5 they had mentioned it. Those are still matter, but because of the AI in 2026, we need to consider one more. I will explain you. So first thing is the completeness of. Sorry, I'm having some problem with this one because my mic is actually going down. Okay. So traditional okay, completeness. So the first thing is, okay, come on, what's wrong? So first thing is the completeness. All required field actually populated. This is one of the basic dimension, and but it is still mostly violated. So there are certain queries which you can run on your org. For example, you can check which field is actually populated or empty, and you can, for example, create your contact completeness score. So if your data is not properly populated, it will create a problem for Agentforce. So your target should be more than 90% of the cleanliness of AI critical field. For example, company name, email, phones, and vice versa. These whatever fields you think based on your use case are more critical to your scenario. So it has an AI impact that any Agentforce agent asks who is the decision maker of a specific company. You cannot answer if contact title is empty. Like there is a possibility that half of your customer contacts does not have even title field. So that is something you really need to consider. Second thing is uniqueness. So how many duplicate exists in your data? So that is the one of the most critical dimensions for agent force readiness. So for example, duplicate account by name, you can run these queries. I will post these queries in the group itself. Then finding duplicate contacts by email. So how many duplicate emails exist? So try to think of it. An agent force is contacting through website and he's just saying, my name is this. I need to initiate an order return, and agent force is trying to verify through email. He's saying, please provide me your email address. Now imagine this email address is now linked with three different contacts, and he might have something, he might not have something, some order. So imagine if this email account which he is trying to search does not have any order. So now our agent force will start hallucinating, and customer will say like, where is my order? And agent force will say, sorry, I am unable to find any order related to this email address, because it has duplicate data and we cannot uh, distinguish which account is the correct one. Because even try to think, your Salesforce query cannot also return it in a proper order, because it does not know where which account is actually the correct one. So this is something which we really need to consider more than anything else. So your data should have less than 1% of duplicate on account and contact. So that is something extremely critical. You can use Salesforce duplicate rule, like to match the rules and match the rate, then duplicate jobs. Salesforce, I think Enterprise Edition and Plus Editions, they have this one, duplicate jobs. What it will do, it will just mark those records as duplicate records, and then later you can merge. And then there is something, data 360 identity resolution, like you can configure your data cloud based on specific field, based on specific criteria. You can create your single source of truth for customer information. So again, this thing is most critical part in AI implementation. Because duplication can actually cause agent hallucination. The same customer gets different treatment depending on which record it is retrieved or provided to the Atlas engine. Then the third one is the consistency. So this is also, you might notice it from your own data, that this is because what is happening, people start entering data based on their own understanding. So for example, country, somebody will start UAE, somebody starts UAE with dot, somebody types the United Arab Emirates or AE. It's same thing. But for Agentforce, this will cause a problem because this is a silent killer. Data can be complete and unique, but still inconsistent because it does not know that the UAE, UAE, United Arab Emirates, or AE, whatever it's exactly the same thing. Then another big issue for the Agentforce actions where we need to contact customer or agent, we need to implement Agentforce 5 is the phone format. Because if your same phone format like 9714123 or 04 or 004, so these kind of we need to literally remove the consistency from the our data. Then again, there is another problem, free text field that should have been a pick list. Like imagine you have a status field which has 5 consistent value. Then somebody decides to have a text field for the status because we just want to set that value from the code or some action itself. So again, if those are not consistent value, your agents cannot reason reliably under the unstructured variation. Then again, another problem which we notice that pick list value with the trailing spaces, mixed casing, or deprecated options still in use. So how it comes into picture, because when people try to copy paste things into when they are defining pick list values, so that is also you need to be careful when you are defining values. So that's why when you are initiating formula fields, use specified text and then trimming those fields. But try to avoid trailing spaces within the pick list values. So, for example, an agent asks, show me all UA accounts. Now, imagine how the data will be returned because your agent 4 does not know whether it is should I query based on United Arab Emirates or U.A.E or something, unless your data is standardized. Okay. Number 4 is the timeliness. How stale is your data? This is based on my personal experience.
May
Most of
I
the
ask
organizations,
question?
they have absolutely no idea about the timeliness. So, because try to think, your data has an expiry date. If it expired before AID reads it, the AID builds strategy on history, not reality. For example, people have absolutely no idea they should consider last 3 years data or 5 years data or 10 years data when they want to perform some agent action, because agent actions are mostly try to think on the real data, on the latest data which they have. And if it will try to read something from the 5 years old data, it might create more hallucination. So for example, when you're trying to get opportunities, so somebody is trying to say, give me opportunities more than 2 years, it does not make any sense to return it through agent force. You should have some other strategy to do it. So for example, you need to look into the health of your contact information, who does not have any activity during last 3 years. So that is also you need to tag those one. So when agent force is trying to take action, it can actually flag that this data is still valid or not. So you need to verify it before doing. Because what Salesforce is recommending is that you need to have archival policy for records more than where you don't see any activity for more than 3 years. Then again, the data lifecycle rules matter for AI grounding. So stale data is equals stale reasoning. Then use field audit trail in Shield to track data that age at the field level, that one exactly the data was last updated. So for example, what impact it can make. So opportunity with, let's say, with close date in 2019 still mark as prospecting, agent surface those as an active pipeline, because all those are active, those were in 2019, though might be those were already closed last, but still because their status was prospecting, those might appear in your own sales pipeline. Then the fifth dimension is the AI relevance. That is, this data really meaningful to the AI agent? One of the biggest mistake which people are doing with agent force, they try to actually force feed agent force everything possible within the account. For example, phone field description, products, everything. But whenever we are defining Agentforce, we really need to be considerate about the specific fields which we expose, because if our fields are incomplete, inconsistent, then it may cause hallucination to our or to our Agentforce. So for example, let's say age account dot description, same thing is when we are asking Agentforce about some description of some account. Let's say we want to know about a specific company. So imagine if we have a TBD blank or test or something irrelevant data, so Agentforce will not be able to provide anything. So good value could be like, this is an agent enterprise SaaS company specialized in supply chain optimization, 500 employees, HQ in the way. So this is the correct value, that it's a good value. So again, similar thing is within the case start description, rather than having proper description of field, they are putting something else. So similar to that, when people are filling in this information, they need to provide it like proper information. Let's say customer unable to log into portal after some incident happened. Similar, the product dot description, your agent wants to know about their product, and customer, it is unable to return because it has some very weird information or SKU provided in this one. Another one of the biggest mistakes which they highlighted, that within the contact art title they put Mr. and Mrs. or any gender information, because we have a specific field for that is called salutation. So here, because this information, our other information is impacted. For example, you don't know who is the decision maker in the company, who is VP of engineering, like these kind of the title, their title, it should be there, because you can then define your flows if it requires approval. For example, if something comes as a customer and VP is also there, so you can automatically trigger a notification to that, rather than manually triggering something. So same thing is like opportunity dot description, we don't have anything. So if somebody is trying to ask about or summarize information, or want to take some action, it will not be able to understand what exactly he's trying to do. So again, an Agentforce agent asks, tell me about the customer, will actually provide some very weird information, because it does not know which field it needs to look into it, and to summarize or get some information about that. Now, the sixth data quality dimension is governance and trust. You can have a perfect data, complete, unique, consistent, timely, and AI relevant, and it can still fail at AI readiness because your governance layer is missing. So what does really that mean? It means your data classification. Is every field is classified public, internal, confidential, and restricted? I think most of the people, they are even unaware of that this classification even exists in Salesforce. So all you have to go to your Salesforce object, and from object go to field, and that field information will provide you that data classification, whether it's public, private, internal, confidential, or restricted. Because why it matters is because then Agentforce can it can prevent Agentforce from exposing sensitive information. Imagine somebody is coming into your website and trying to play with agent, and Agentforce returns them the confidential information. That is just to avoid those cases. So then second thing is the personal identifiable information, that do you know which field contains P2 information, like passport number, your emirates ID number, your date of birth, your specific thing which can link to the P2 information. Then consent and compliance. So whenever you need to link your data with something, you need to always get a customer proper consent. So that whenever for example, you are trying to send emails to customer, do you really have recorded consent before sending such things, whether your data is compliant with GDPR, DDP, HIPAA, these kind of standards. Second thing is the access policies. Are fine-grained policies enforced consistently across Agentforce, analytics, and segmentation? And the one of the most important thing, the audit trail. Can you prove who accessed what data and when? So that is something very critical, especially with the governance and trust layer. So there are many tools Salesforce is offering. For example, Data 360, Salesforce Shield. It is a paid add-on which you can enable in your org, so you have field audit trails, so which can provide 10 years of field history changes. Then you have platform encryption also, like you can encrypt, but you need to really play with smart with that, the how you will manage your keys, how to encrypt, decrypt data. So one of the biggest problem with the AI, if you don't have governance layer, that AI agent can actually accidentally expose confidential, maybe revenue data, PE2 data, or health record in a customer facing response. That isn't just a data quality issue. It may become a legal liability if such information is exposed. So let's see. How do you assess your data quality? So first of all, like you have seen that there are 6 dimensions. Now let's talk about how actually we can measure the org's data health. So there is a framework related to that. So first of all, what you need to do is install Salesforce Labs data quality analysis dashboard. So let me just see if okay. So has anyone seen this dashboard before? Let me just open Trailhead because it was enabled in one of my orgs. So let me just my hands on orgs, and let's see, launch this one. And where it is, this one on Exchange. So this is actually data quality analysis dashboard. You might have seen earlier the Salesforce org check that you can also use, but it is something which will actually provide you real-time information inside your Salesforce org. So basically it will provide you, get it now, why, what's wrong? So basically it can provide you information like which records are missing, okay, which key field per object. Okay. What is my org name? Okay. What happened? What's gone? Where is my dashboard? Did it install? No. Let's see, setup. It's not installed. Why get it now?
I think you installed in other org.
It's weird. It was showing me to log in. Okay. Confirm. It's saying that it is okay. I will just use the same user.
The username is something gmail.com is one. I think this is different or you're logged in.
No, but actually it was giving me an option. Now I think it will give me an option now. See? Okay, install for admin only. So basically what it does, it provides us the percentage of records which are missing key fields. For example, account, contact, opportunity, lead, done. Okay, very good.
Misbah, does it consume data cloud credits or not?
No. It will not consume data cloud credits
Okay.
because
It
it is
just launch
yes, it will just provide.
SOQL queries.
Yes, it will just check. I don't know, something wrong is happening. It's already installed, that's why, or something. Anyhow, we can check it. Where is my, let's see. Because maybe in this org, data.
When you open a Salesforce org, by default, you do not get this on the menu dashboards and reports.
That is something your own Salesforce dashboard you can configure.
But it doesn't like come as a default and then you can play with it, or you make your own dashboards and reports from
You
the
can
menu that
customize it.
exists.
You can customize it. So I think if for the sake of this one, I can tell you, you can play with this one. Where are the super badges? There is one super badge dashboard inside for Agentforce readiness. So this actually provides you exactly same thing. You can configure this one and run the package data quality analysis dashboard, and it will provide you the information about this one. So you can walk through this one. Let me see if it already has data quality dashboard, because maybe in this specific org, it is not allowing me to install it because it had bad data. That's why I wanted to use it. You all, and it has all dashboards, data quality analysis. See, it will provide you something like this, like in the company field, in the lead source, what is the population rate of specific data. You can customize it by yourself, and then based on your object, whatever you are using, it will provide you details about the which data, what is the population rate of specific field, and then you can based on your customer based on your company policy, you can then update it.
And it supports custom object and custom fields.
Yes,
Also.
you can use your own custom object, but again, be careful what exactly data you want to expose through Agentforce. That's something which matters most, because you shouldn't be exposing everything to Agentforce. For example, you just need to tell them, yeah, like go into account, verify this customer based on the contact, and then based on these order fields, which fields you need to let him search. So that is something you need to be considerate with. It will just provide you some information about like the data population for verification purpose. Then for specific SQL based profiling, like you can summarize based on you can find actually the total account, total contacts, total case, like based on the quality of your data. So you can put a scoring card, like what exactly this is something based on according to your company data model. So for example, within account you can check for within the case itself you can count where exactly industry, phone, billing, country, these kind of information is missing. So you can create a scoring mechanism. At the end it will just show you how many accounts actually have case have this missing data. Similar, it is doing this data quality dashboard is doing almost similar thing. So where description is missing, it is just saying one or two, so it is returning some value based on that. And you can use query instead of installing the dashboard, you can use your query too. Then third thing is you can run field metadata analysis. The same Salesforce org check which we installed earlier in the first section, you can check how many fields are actually populated, how many fields actually have data. Then there is another tool, if I'm not mistaken, field trip or something, that can also provide field usage report. Then you can also query, you're using inspector reload, it's like how much fields are having missing data. So what exactly we need to look for here is the customer fields which were created but never populated. Let's say less than 5% field rate. So in such cases, we just need to remove those fields. There are fields which are populated with the junk data. Let's say test ASDF 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is something which we really need to clean. It is not some easy exercise. You really need to run some tools. Maybe you need to export data, perform some analysis, and then update it based on that. Then, for example, fields which are without any kind of validation rules. So that is something you might need to control. Then pick list fields with 50 plus inactive values. So that is also something you need to clean up. So how we really do? So when you need to assess your data quality, you need to actually create some sort of data quality scorecard. So this is just a sample scorecard you can use within the Excel itself. So for instance, your object name, your dimension, so you can put all of your dimension against that object. Then how many key fields which we need to use, what is the percentage, what is the current score, and what is the target which we need to achieve. And then based on that, you can define the red, green, and amber status. Then uniqueness, how many duplicates we have, similar to consistency, timeliness, AI relevant, same thing you can do with all of your objects. So against all objects, you can define 6 dimension, and then you can rate your dimension. So it will provide you actually a base scorecard for your data quality. Okay. The first thing, one which they have mentioned about is the data profiling with data 360. We will show you how to actually do it within Data Cloud, but I think we will not have enough time to run full golden rule test. So basic concept is, if you have data 360 like Data Cloud, you can also use built-in capability of Data Cloud for identity resolution or data cleanliness. So for example, you can connect your data stream health, you can view the data, you can connect your data stream, and then you can start doing the health monitoring, like how many errors it received, schema mismatch, refresh failure. So whenever if there is a duplicate, so it will throw an exception. So you can see how many records are already filled, or then everybody's familiar with the data cloud concepts, or shall I provide some brief information about that?
Please provide.
Okay, let me just provide you some information related to that. So basically, data cloud. So data cloud is actually a Salesforce platform. They call it Data 360. You can connect your multiple data into Salesforce. And for example, you have ERP system, you have order management system, you have Salesforce system, you may have an external SAP or something else. Now, all of those are linked with your customer. So now try to think you are actually replicating your customer data across multiple systems. So same customer who is coming to Salesforce might have some orders in order management system, might have some financial information in Oracle, might have something else in your case management system. So actually Salesforce helps us, this data cloud actually help us in these concepts. So let me just, I think it will be better if I open the data cloud thing. It will make it easier for you to see it by yourself. Where is my stop sharing and share? Where is my window? So this is share. You can see my this screen. Oh yes, this. You can see this.
Yes.
We can see your screen.
Yes. So basically, when you go to data cloud, the first thing, which is the data space. Data space is actually the core how your data is stored within the data cloud itself. This space actually helps us manage how many orgs we need to connect. So might be two Salesforce org might utilize the same data space, or one org will, so one who will be the primary, who will be the secondary. This actually helps us design in such a way when we have multiple Salesforce org which might utilize the same data cloud. So similar to your, you might see a big lake which is full of water. Okay, and it might have multiple data streams which are actually filling the data inside your lake. So that is exact similar concept with the data stream here. So what you do, you configure your data stream to connect with system, any external third party system. So for example, if I define a new data stream, I will just say which kind of system I want to use, I want to connect, let's say Amazon S3 or SQL Server or anything else, or even for the other Salesforce object. Then what I'm saying is, I want to utilize this. This is some other sale. This is not the same Salesforce org. This is some other Salesforce org, maybe my partner Salesforce org, or my other company's other Salesforce org. So here, what I say is just connect with that specific data and pull specific customer account, record account, or order information or contacts, and then put everything into one data lake. So try to think of it, your data lake object is something where multiple data streams will actually connect. So for example, I say just connect the contact information, then it will say which fields you want to ingest. Okay, then I say next, I say just pull everything and deploy. So what it is doing, it is connecting with that Salesforce, and it is trying to bring out the data from that Salesforce into my data cloud. There is another thing, zero retention policy. So you can configure in that case, it will never bring that other system's data into data cloud. It will just retain it there. So you will just have a reference, and then you perform some action accordingly based on your ingestion. So once you have this data stream, then you have another concept, which is because data stream goes into data lake object. Then this data lake object, you will see it here. So whatever you mapped from the system, then it will just show you that it is processing. Storage is local. This will actually consume your data cloud credits. So whenever you are ingesting data, so you need to be considerate when you how frequently you need to refresh your data. Then once your data is actually hold on, let me just see it. Is it still processing? Where is my view all? Data model. Okay. So this is your data model objects. So what happens? Data lake, then you will map it against your data model object. So it could be your contact object, your account object. So that is, try to think your same data about the customer is coming from multiple streams into data lake object. And then from that data lake object, then you try to map it. So similar way, once you that is, you can, what is the data source, then you can try, okay, I think it is still by data stream lake object is still being populated. So you can define your data model that map it against from data lake to your data model. And then from that data model, let's just go to the data cloud setup. And here you can say, okay, I think it is there. Identity resolution. So that's what identity resolution is. So here you actually define your rules. So you can define like from which data space, which primary DDM object, data model object, and rule set. So what you define here is based on what criteria you will try to combine your data. You create a golden record. For example, a customer based on customer name. Let's say you have 5 records. Shall I merge based on fuzzy logic or something, and merge everything together in one single source of truth, like a golden record? Because in that case, Agentforce will actually link everything to that golden record. You got the idea, or still confused with that?
Can you show us an example, please?
So I think it is first we need to do it because ingestion actually takes some time processing. So basically try to think of it. You have a data cloud. You have, first of all, data coming from multiple sources. Salesforce CRM, marketing cloud, your commerce cloud, anywhere. Then what you do, you create data stream. That is data 360 ingestion layers. So all your data stream objects, your data lake objects, what you do, you actually schedule it here. You schedule it, and based on the predefined schedule, it will actually get data and fill in that data lake object. Then what you do is you have then data model objects, DMO. So what exactly you do, you harmonize your customer 360 data into this data model objects. So for what it is, normalize your source data before identity resolution happens. So the one which we are doing is where it is gone, the identity resolution. So what identity resolution, it has 2 modes actually. One is deterministic and the probabilistic matching. So what it does, it is based on those 2 rules, it will try to match those customer data and create a golden record. I think what we can do is in the next session, I will pre-populate some records. So it will make it easier for you to see, like if let's say 5 Acme account we have, and how data clouds is actually unifying it into one account. That is something I can show you in the next session. And then based on that, it can provide you like calculated insights like pre-computed value, CLVs, engagement score. So that is something you can populate it here. You have previously worked with data cloud or no? Because you can actually sign up for a sample org For 2 days now. Previously it was giving to 4 days. Now you can actually configure it for 2 days, and you can play with it, especially around the data streams and data lake objects.
I work with just for knowledge articles to ingest it. That's all.
Actually, knowledge article is one of the source of data for your Agentforce. So that is, you can still, because try to think, Agentforce has limitation to one Agentforce data library, and that data library you can connect it with multiple, sources. For example, your knowledge articles, your other operations, for example, your website. Even I saw maybe 1 or 2 months ago, something you can link now, your knowledge information, you can ingest full website data, images data into your data cloud, and then link it with your Agentforce, and it will provide information related to that. Okay, then we have prevention. So prevention,
So
yeah.
basically, Misbah, just like to summarize what you said on data cloud, this is like a space which helps us to design when we're having different multiple orgs, right, with the same data cloud usage. And you are first working with a data stream, and then you're preparing that connection to a data lake, and then you're doing a data model object, and from that you're identifying the resolution, whether you want it to be deterministic or a probabilistic, and that's how you are categorizing whether you're going to get whatever you call the golden record. Is that what
Yes,
it
see,
is?
try to let me simplify it more for you. So try to think of it, data lake and data streaming, something raw data. So first, what you need to do is you need to bring your raw data into your data cloud. Now it is called data 360. So your stream is something similar to like your water stream. You connect it with some data source, it will pull that specific data and store it in a data lake object. So you keep on dumping everything into data lake object. It has predefined schedule. After that it will run, it will pull that data and store it there. Let's say you are running it every single day with the order management system. It will keep on pulling that information and store it there in data lake object. Then you map that data lake object with the data model object. So you harmonize whatever is already received. Whatever raw data you had, now it is mapped to a single data model, maybe account, maybe a contact, maybe a product. It could be anything.
Mhm.
Then that is the data mod. Once we have a DMO object, then what we do for specific customers, especially for the customer itself, we do identity resolution. So for example, Leela, who is a customer in the commerce engine, same thing. Maybe Leela is also a lead in your CRM,
Mhm.
and plus also Leela is a subscriber in Marketing Cloud. So what identity resolution is going to do, it is connecting those dots. It identifies, it matches, and reconciles the records into one single unified profile. So it knows, yes, this is the same Leela who ordered three three cars from our website. This is the same Leela who has, who is doing shopping with us in one of our shopping mall, and this is exactly same Leela who has raised three complaints related to her internet connection. So you got the idea for
Yes.
this one?
Yes. Thank you.
Yes. So that's exactly what Data Cloud is doing. So when you are connecting the Agentforce, so Agentforce now knows who exactly you are. So just to give you an idea about the identity resolution rule. So deterministic, it means like you exactly match the specific customer based on maybe email address, phone number, or some other IDs. Or probabilistic is it will try to match based on the name. For example, some in one of our record you have only Leela, the other record may have Leela, full Leela name, so it will try to match accordingly. Okay. So then we got something related to how we can actually prevent the bad data. So first thing is you need to apply validation rules. Like validation rules with specific format. So we shouldn't be getting junk data into our Salesforce org. Then, for example, one of the biggest example, it is related to email addresses. So email, if you use the same email field, it will always enforce this one. But specific to the phone number format, yes, we really need to apply some regex here, how we want to store the phone numbers. Then we have our country information. That country, one recommendation here, it is that rather than using country, use the standardized country pick list value, and the Salesforce has it within that. Then you can use country ISO codes wherever you want to link those country names. Then description field, you need to be considerate about that, because yes, till today I never saw anybody filling the correct information about the description, but that is something you really need to start thinking about those fields, be it on opportunity, be it on account, so you can actually use it. Then second thing is the duplicate management. So that is, you can use standard duplicate rules, like how to match, which field we need to look for it, and how to actually, whether we want to allow or whether we want to prevent, specific to account, contacts, leads. So these are the one which will create more problem for us, because even if we have, let's say, duplicate opportunity, will not harm us, but having a duplicate account will actually create problem for us. Then we can use duplicate rules on leads, accounts. So that is something which will prevent us. We have duplicate jobs within the Salesforce itself above enterprise edition. So what it will do, it will just try to, you can select the specific object and then select matching rule, and it will generate a duplicate record set that it will try to match which are the duplicate job sets, duplicate records. Then you can actually configure flows or your triggers or any background jobs which will actually refine your data. So for example, you can create record trigger flows for account. Whenever it is created or updated, you can trigger regex to update the phone format, or you can actually throw some validation errors to them if somebody is trying to modify the record. Then same thing is the mailing city, your country, then lead converted. So we can customize your duplicate rule, not duplicate rule, extend your duplicate rules, where it will just check whether this contact already exists or any account already exists with the same email account. It will just prevent that lead conversion. Then you can also have some sort of schedule job or schedule flow that it can actually check that if you have some sort of some critical fields which has missing data, it can maybe create a record, trigger an email notification, or you can configure a report where it will keep on updating such information. Then for the old data, you can configure something related to cases or opportunities, that if close date is empty and it is more than 6 months or 1 year, you can trigger notification and discuss with your business owners what exactly you want to cancel those, you want to perform some action, delete. So these kind of things you can do. And even same thing, you can actually enforce your proper data governance rule using screen trigger flows, that which will actually prevent users from entering unnecessary or junk data. Then one thing is which is related to page layouts and field level governance. So rather than, if we may mark any field required on object level, it will be enforced everywhere, even your API layers. But some specific fields we don't want to mark them mandatory through API or setup. So in such cases, what we do, we mark those critical field mandatory at the UI level. Then we have specific record type and layout. Then we can configure different layout for different business users. So where we want to, this is something which we are already using. But more than layouts, you can think about it, conditional forms, where we can define some condition and it will show hide the data. Then, yeah, not conditional forms, sorry, dynamic forms. Then you can also do some sort of guided screen flows. So replacing the standard new functionality with guided screen flows, you can guide actually user which data they need to fill first. I think previously, earlier days, we used to do it using wizard kind of things in LW, in not LWCs, in VF pages. So same thing now, Salesforce has provided the UI flows for that. And if you like, you can use some third-party tools also related to that, like Plotty, Cloudingo, Data Groomer, Demand Tool. So these are all tools; those are available, and you can based on it is just based on how messy your data is, whether you have a skill set or you want to utilize some third-party tool based on your project timeline or anything else. Okay. So that's it from my side. Any question, guys?
I have a question with regards to this pick list values that you were talking about on the data quality dimensions for the Agentforce readiness. Can you please explain a bit more about what is this? The space is mixed casing, and there were like 2, 3 parameters you mentioned over there. Can you please take it back from that slide?
So for example, we were saying about data quality, the pick list values
Yes,
with
exactly.
trailing spaces, mixed casing, or deprecated options still in use.
What does that mean?
So,
How?
for example, let's say you have an opportunity which has 5 or 6 pick list values.
Hmm.
Now, based on pick list value, let's say stage name, you are expecting agent to perform some action. So try to think in that way when we say closed and closed with 2 spaces or 3 spaces. So both are exactly same. It looks same, but actually technically both are not same.
Hmm.
So when you will configure your Agentforce, so Agentforce, how we are doing it, we just specify that if field value is equal closed, then perform this action, right? So
Hmm.
now try to think when agent is trying to evaluate that field value with trailing spaces, that value will not match. So closed is actually not equal to closed because closed is now with 2 spaces. So string will not match.
Okay. The mixed casing, are you referring to capital letters and small letters?
Yes, capital letter. For example, in one value you specified closed with small c and one is the capital with the capital C. So these kind also, because it's a string, so technically both value it will try to match.
And what is deprecated options?
So deprecated option is when you go to Salesforce. Let me share it in that way. It will make it easier for you to see. Window and share. So let's say when you go there, when you go to your object, let's say case. Let's say field and relationship. So this is the case reason. See, it has multiple things. Now let me try to, what does that mean when I was saying it? Incorrect. If you see it is, I added leading spaces. No, it is not allowed because it is duplicate value, but it is there are old values which are leading spaces. So the one which I am saying is incorrect value I and C. No, it is not doing, but Salesforce is actually the old, it was doing it. So you could have actually duplicate values assessing the same thing. So where you have the
Is
same
it
value with the
is it duplicate values or deprecated? What is this deprecate?
deprecate means you, let's say you de so usually, let's say today we are having these three values. I'll show you.
That's when you deactivate the value,
Yes,
bring this
but
value.
you are still using it today.
You
Rather than deactivating,
you
you
have
are
not
still using it.
you have not deactivated
You have
something,
not deactivated.
so you call it deprecated.
So based on your process, business process, whatever was the old thing, you are still continue using it. So what will happen in that case from Agentforce perspective, if that specific case has this status, now it is unable to determine which action should I take. So that is something you need to be careful with that.
Thank you.
Sort of just wanted to confirm on the picklist thing that you just that we just talked about. The picklist values are actually defined initially. Like I mean, they can have a space or like they cannot have a space in the
No,
beginning.
not
So
space. They can have space. Like see, okay. Then I will say another value. Okay, let's try to save. It accept it. It will accept those values. If you see, though it will accept leading spaces. Let's say even if I try to say a new value with space, two spaces, and now try to think with one values with spaces and one values without space. Now it is detecting it because Salesforce is now removing it. Previously it was having like you could add duplicate values, but still the issue is this thing, the leading spaces. Because when you will try to, let's say, go to case, do I have any case? All cases. Okay, let's see. This is this case. And which field it was? One which we were playing. Which field do you remember? Which field? Reason. Mm. Come on, stop loading. Okay, case. Yes. Where is field? Yes. So if you see, this values is there. It is with the spaces. So when we save it, where is my, because for normal person it does not know that there is something or no. Even it will cause problem in your formula fields or other places. So that's why you really need to avoid leading spaces.
okay, so we need to be careful like when making a picklist or like are there any rules as such like that can prevent us from adding any spaces?
See, say if you will add value, it will not, because it does not know what does that mean.
No, I totally get that, but my question is like, suppose we try to add a pick list. We make a pick list with some spaces in between the values.
I think
So
no,
our,
between value it's fine. Between value it is fine, but the leading spaces, that is something you need to be careful. I think Salesforce, if I'm not mistaken, as of today, Salesforce is enforcing it. So even if you add those values, Salesforce removes that things. But maybe from metadata, when you deploy, that thing is we need to test it, because earlier days there was a mistake. It was part of the data assessment, that your values, I think Salesforce is preventing it in the new orgs, that if you are creating it from screen, it is preventing the leading spaces. It is automatically removing before creating the values.
okay, so it is automatically
I
trimming
think it
those
is
leading
automatic,
space.
because if I'm trying to add, I added it without this one, but it automatically removed. That's what I'm surprised to see that it removes. But from metadata deployment, when you are deploying a pick list values, that is something we need to test, that it is really also doing it or not. But in the
Gotcha.
old orgs, it will be a problem that you need to look for. That maybe somebody has accidentally added a space or something, which may cause problem. Because try to think of it, when you will specify your value within Agentforce, you try to do it based on the text value. That is, you need to be careful with that. Or some old value which is still in use, where you want them to perform any action.
Thank you, Misbah.
So let's talk about.
There are some questions on the chat. Couple of them have been
Let
replied. I don't know if you want to see the chat.
me see the chat. I'm not good for that. I have completely learned. I think somebody suggest something. Consume data cloud credit. So anything you will perform on data cloud, it will be consuming credit. Yes, Salesforce, you can register your, Ahmad Hussain also has that you can either use your own developer account. So the new developer or comes with the data cloud, so you can configure it. And if you want more, there is a 2 to 4 days data cloud org which you can play with it. So you can configure it. I think it is there in Trailhead. Any super badge you will go, you can register for data cloud org wherever it is. So Reshma is there, and Nagesh is there.
Yes, please go on.
Okay. So let me just open it. So everybody is aware of that Salesforce has launched something related to Agentforce. Like if you can showcase your Agentforce to them. Let me just stop the recording.